Meri Brown awoke the morning following the TikTok live to a deluge of pings, calls, messages, and news alerts rather than a void. Already strained by the demands of a live audience that had grown to over 20 million, her phone was suddenly glowing with stories, tags, and headlines that all shared her name. Sister wife scandal, Meri Brown goes viral for explosive confession. Cody and Robyn accused of gaslighting, manipulation, and financial exploitation. TLC's first wife speaks. "I was just the PR piece disoriented," Meri blinked at the screen. She briefly believed it may have been a dream. And the fear struck, that sickening rumble in her abdomen, the one that arrived after she had buried her reality for too long, out of sight. However, it was out this time. Her old coffee maker sputtered to life as she stepped carefully into the kitchen, barefoot on the chilly tile floor. She was soothed by the scent of the grounds, but not enough to stop the chaos she had let loose. The fans weren't the only ones responding. Journalists were involved, mental health professionals, feminist bloggers, former producers, insiders who are anonymous. Hey ho everybody, welcome back to my channel TLC Flicks. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Most significantly, former Sister Wives cast members who had been silent for years started quietly endorsing her statements. Hours after her live, a Reddit thread was created with the following post. "I spent 2 seasons working on set for TLC. What did Meri say? I seen it firsthand. Before every shoot, Robyn would cry, and if we didn't make her appear like a saint, Cody would stop production. Favoritism was a policy, not a secret. The internet was exploding. Additionally, Robyn Brown had not slept a wink in a fortress-like mansion across the state. Her hair was a frizz mess from tossing and turning, and her eyes were sunken. The previous evening, every time she tried to close her eyes, Meri's comments would reverberate. She spied on us. The remark plagued her like a plague. Every tap made her cringe as she browsed social media. She was unable to locate an area that was unaffected by Meri's admission. Now there were memes, some virulent, some nasty. "Collect $200 every time you cry and manipulate another wife," said the description of one that included Cody and Robyn photoshopped into a Monopoly board. Another had Meri in dramatic lighting with the words, "First wife" written in bold. The last standing Cody had locked himself in his study since 3 in the morning when Robyn attempted to wake him. After reading a Twitter space with the caption, "Why we all owe Meri Brown an apology," he had flung his phone against the wall. When she eventually lured him out with a hint of coffee, Cody appeared unshaven, black circles under his eyes, and a frown carved deep across his face. Robyn stated in a trembling voice, "We have to go live. We have to defend ourselves. What do you fight?" He yelled. "The reality?" Robyn blinked. Raking his hands through his hair, Cody bounded into the kitchen. "They will no longer pay attention to us. You don't get it, Robyn." It wasn't simply the fourth wall that Meri broke. The whole dang set was burnt by her. He gazed at her. "Are you aware of the amount of effort I put into keeping this together? How many lies did I tell to keep my reputation intact?" Robyn winced. "What lies?" Cody remained silent. He simply gazed at the glass, broken and empty. Leon, meanwhile, perched on the side of their bed and gazed at a screen that was constantly flashing with texts from strangers, former cast members, and old acquaintances. They're all saying the same thing. "Your mother is fierce. She made us shiver. I see you both now." Nevertheless, Leon's chest constricted. Because they had known all their lives, but the rest of the world was only learning. They had seen their mother gradually fall apart. Had seen Meri sobbing quietly into her tea during the lengthy phone sessions. She always claimed to be all right, even though everyone knew she wasn't. The passive grinned, the dwindling presence, the years of not being seen. When Leon was 11 years old, he recalled seeing Meri wait outside the chilly car as Cody entered Robyn's house carrying a bunch of flowers. Meri had remarked in a little voice, "He forgot mine." Leon had also never forgotten that particular event, because something had broken in their mother that day, and it never came back completely. However, something more was in her now. Something crazy. Something living. The media frenzy was already underway by midday. Red Table Talk, The Cut, The View, and CNN were all requesting interviews with Meri. She was being commended by feminist academics for disrupting patriarchal narratives in religious polyamory. Millions of people saw the dramatic music-accompanied TikTok edits of her confession. The generic press release from TLC, which caught them off stride, read, "We are aware of recent personal revelations made by Meri Brown via social media. We have nothing to say at this time. The story of Sister Wives is still very personal and constantly changing. Executives, however, were rushing behind the scenes. The forthcoming season had received mediocre ratings. Now, though, Meri Brown had turned into a conflagration. And there were onlookers where there was fire. They called an urgent Zoom conference with the producers. A daring notion sprang to mind. The lead showrunner stated, "Let's change course. We provide Meri with a platform of her own. A documentary series about a single person. People now give a damn about her." Off-screen, let the other spiral. When Meri returned home, the flood of attention overtook her. She had been disregarded for years, not included in family portraits, downplayed in television shows, and written off by admirers as bitter. Those same fans were now pleading with her for advice. They referred to her as courageous, revolutionary, even recognizable. Meri, however, lacked courage. She felt a hole in her chest. "I didn't do this to go viral," she muttered in the quiet of her kitchen. "I took this action because I was out of breath." She turned to face the window. Outside, snow was starting to fall, silent and heavy, blanketing the entire planet in white. It brought back memories of their early years in Utah, when they were still a family struggling to make ends meet before the show and the fame. She recalled the expression on Cody's face when he had suggested that she think about sharing. How he had encapsulated everything in terms of spirituality and everlasting blessings. She recalled how much she had loved him back then, how much she had sacrificed for his happiness. And after he finished taking, how little of her remained. Cody eventually activated TikTok later that evening as the internet flooded and the world buzzed. He rewatched the live, this time in its entirety, and he didn't see the Meri he had imagined for the first time in decades. One of the women he saw had survived him. He remained silent. However, he sensed the cold, indisputable reality deep within his chest. He was no longer necessary for her. Perhaps she never had. "Do you want me to move on to part I now? We can delve even further." Meri accepting interviews, Robyn collapsing under the burden of the media, a Cody's seclusion, Leon's run-in with his father, and a spiritual reckoning among the family members. I can go on to discuss Meri's TLC spinoff and the otherwise reactions to the fire she sparked. There's more. With the exception of Robyn Brown, Kody Brown has divorced every one of his spouses since Sister Spouses debuted in 2010. The show and Brown's Wives took the world by storm. Meri Brown, his first wife, is now discussing her past friendship with Robyn. Meri is discussing her relationship with Robyn and how it has changed since all of the other spouses departed their family unit, with her friend Jen Sullivan in an exclusive preview of the upcoming season of Sister Spouses from POPLE. Meri informed Sullivan, "There are a lot of people who think she was a fraud, a liar and a manipulator." Meri even spoke up for Robyn when Sullivan gave her a look regarding Robyn. Sullivan continued by somewhat defending Robyn. She stated, "I don't think it was like intentional manipulation," and Meri concurred. "I do think that Kody decided that he had this new person that was this new insider with him, and then it just became them against everybody else. She would act like she was your best friend, then completely ignore you and hurt your feelings." Sullivan continued, "I mean, that's F it up, as in either don't be an *** Cole or be one." Meri did acknowledge that before things with Brown, she had a positive relationship with Robyn. According to her, their relationship was a good one, and I felt very solid in it. She continued, however, by saying that although she felt stable, their dynamic had shifted. "We had a tight relationship. There was a separation, and then it began," she continues. Until 2021, Brown remained married to his 4 wives. It began when Christine Brown, who is currently married to David Woolley, left him. Meri followed Janelle Brown's divorce from Brown in 2022. On the episode, the 3 other ladies were all close to Brown and had their ups and downs, struggled with their shared husband until it became too much. In order to make Robyn his wife and adopt her children, Brown formally divorced Meri when Robyn joined them. Robyn is the only one who is still legally and spiritually wedded to Brown. The Brown family has undergone a significant transition in Sister Wives Season 19, and after finding out how the Coyote Pass crisis was resolved, I've altered my mind and believe that this is where the show should end. Viewers of Sister Wives have been keeping an eye on the show throughout Season 19 and anticipating its continuation. I've been wondering what would happen to Sister Wives following Kody Brown's divorces, but I doubt there will be any concrete answers until the current season concludes. Since his relationship started to fall apart around him, Kody, who married Meri Brown, Janelle Brown, and Christine Brown in the 1990s and went on to create a sizable poly family, has been struggling. Although Kody is currently with Robyn Brown, his marriages to Christine, Janelle, and Meri have all ended recently, and because the show's original focus was on the prosperous multiple family, things swiftly shifted. Kody's marriages were only the beginning, and over the past few years, his family's ownership of a sizable tract of land known as Coyote Pass has caused problems. The second half of Sister Wives Season 19 will see a change in focus as Meri and Janelle struggle with selling their Coyote Pass pieces, even though the show has so far focused a lot on Christine's marriage to David Woolley and their newfound love. The largest portions of the land are owned by Kody and Robyn, but Meri and Janelle also made investments in the land with the intention of constructing homes while the family was still living together and working. Now that everything has fallen apart, Janelle and Meri have been burdened by their land. According to recent reports, Janelle and Meri have finally sold their Coyote Pass plots after years of conflict, despite Kody making the process extremely difficult. It's evident that something is preventing the couple from proceeding with their deal, even though Kody has denied any role in attempting to prevent his ex-wives from selling their land. Although Janelle and Meri have distinct reasons for wanting to sell their packages, they will probably talk about the experience, including the family drama, online or on-screen now that they have done so. Both Janelle and Meri have been more forthcoming about their lives outside of their marriages to Kody than they have ever been in the previous seasons of Sister Wives. Janelle made it apparent that there was more going on between her and her longtime husband than first meets the eye while she was debating whether or not to leave Kody and the multiple Brown family behind. Janelle had revealed that she had been under some stress with Kody for a while, despite the fact that they had been through a particularly heated disagreement at the time of their breakup. During the COVID-19 epidemic, when Kody stopped visiting his women on a rotating schedule and bunkered down at home with Robyn, their connection took center stage and took over the Brown household. Janelle was under more financial strain than ever before as a result of Kody's decision to forgo his previous weddings. Even though he had been going through his relationships a little more cleanly previously, Janelle revealed that she had invested all of her money in Coyote Pass before the pandemic struck, and she was afraid she would end up penniless after her dispute with Kody prompted her to consider getting a divorce. Meri was coping with a lot of her money being tied up in the land, even though the amount of money she invested in Coyote Pass might not have put her under as much financial strain. For the past few seasons of Sister Wives, Meri has been cut off from the rest of the family. She moved to Parowan, Utah, to help expand her enterprises and help restore her bed and breakfast. Meri's capacity to manage on her own has never been questioned, despite the fact that her relationship with Kody has always been quite complex. The fact that Meri is independent has instead made it difficult for her to get along with Robyn and Kody, who both seem to need her much more than she does. Given that Meri and Kody are no longer married, she has been doing a fantastic job moving forward with her other endeavors, such as her platform, Worthy Up. Meri has committed herself to her passions and deserves to be allowed to pursue them without the financial and emotional burden she has endured. She has also pledged to be honest about her marriage to Kody and their potential struggles. It is evident that Meri and Janelle wish to proceed with a clean head following the deal, as the final sale of their Coyote Pass property has finally been reported. Even though Meri and Janelle may have different objectives for the transaction, they will undoubtedly feel more free after selling the land and getting their money back. The sale of the land probably made them both joyful, but it may have been bittersweet because it marked the end of a chapter in their lives, which in some ways alters the Sister Wives family's perspective. Meri and Janelle have been making every effort to start the next chapters of their life, despite the fact that they may be in varying degrees of financial trouble. It appears to be the ideal way for Sister Wives to end as the couple finally lays Coyote Pass to rest. The series appears to be on hold for the former Brown family now that they have completely separated from one another and moved into a new location where they are not accountable to one another. Finally, Sister Wives might end naturally. For Janelle Brown and Meri Brown, the apparently never-ending struggle for the proceeds from the sale of Coyote Pass on Sister Wives has finally ended. The 14-acre property that the Brown family had first bought in 2018 sold for $1.5 million, according to news reports on April 15. In order to live together without worrying about prying eyes or nosy neighbors, Kody Brown and his wives, Meri, Janelle, Christine, and Robyn Brown, had planned to construct residences on the property. When the family bought the property they called Coyote Pass, they had moved from Las Vegas, where they had been living on a cul-de-sac, to Flagstaff, Arizona. When the polygamous family came to light, they were forced to leave Utah and settle in Las Vegas. The COVID epidemic caused issues, and by 2021, Christine was the first wife to leave the company. Janelle and Meri came next. What would happen to Coyote Pass was the main topic of the first half of Sister Wives Season 19. Following her departure, Christine gave up all title to the land and decided to leave it completely in order to begin a new life with her new husband, David Woolley. As they attempted to break up their relationships with Kody and adjust to their new normal, Janelle and Meri were still in limbo. After losing 3 spouses in a short period of time, Kody seems to cling to Coyote Pass in order to maintain control over Janelle and Meri. In addition to not keeping them informed about the land's condition, Janelle and Meri believed that Kody was deliberately impeding the sale of the property. After deciding she required legal advice, Janelle urged Meri to follow suit, although it's unclear if they had to hire attorneys to persuade Kody to sell. Everyone on the lease, Robyn, Meri, Janelle, and Kody, walked away with $375,000 in profits after the land was sold. Since Janelle and her daughter Meddie are starting a new business, the money she received from the sale of Coyote Pass will undoubtedly be put to good use. In North Carolina, Janelle and Meddie bought a 156-acre tract of land. When Janelle first left Flagstaff, she didn't appear to know what she was going to do, but once she and Meddie discovered the acreage, an idea came to her. They made the decision to buy the property and turn it into the flower farm, event venue, and lifestyle brand Tata Farms. Although the farm isn't yet accessible to the public, they have been sharing updates on social media. Additionally, they started selling goods like recipe booklets and teas. Other members of the Brown family may also be included in the show as it delves into the process of starting a company similar to Tata Farms. Starting a business like Tata Farms is not something that should be done lightly. We know how hard Janelle works, therefore she's the ideal person to head the company. Tata Farms is a project that is dear to her because she also values the outdoors and the natural world. For Janelle, it's even more significant because it's a collaborative enterprise with Meddie. I believe it's perfectly acceptable to give Janelle and Meddie their own spin-off, since the original idea of Sister Wives was to depict a happy, polygamous household. One never knows where life may take them, and sharing Janelle's path after splitting from Kody may serve as motivation for many. I love to see them on their own program, continuing their labor of love, because I know I'm not the only one who believes their tale isn't finished. Kody Brown talked about whether Robyn Brown is his soulmate in an exclusive Sister Wives preview. In the past, he had polygamous relationships with Christine, Robyn, Meri, and Janelle. Despite his desire to have a large brood, Kody did not treat each of his women fairly. His previous wives felt pushed away because he chose to spend time with Robyn. However, Kody is currently having a hard time accepting his 3 divorces and finding peace with his new monogamous life with Robyn. Rumors that Kody and Robyn's marriage was in trouble were recently sparked after they were seen looking uncomfortable while out. In the Sister Wives mid-season premiere, Kody revealed more of his feelings, including whether he believes Robyn is his soulmate, according to a teaser published by E! News. "I'll be really honest with you, I didn't know that Mom was my soulmate when I married her," he said, addressing his kids. When Kody asked Robyn if she recalled his calling her his soulmate, Robyn pointed out that he used to mock that phrase. Robyn and Kody were careful not to bring up the subject of being soulmates. Although Kody seemed uncertain about whether he had felt the same way about Robyn when they initially started dating in 2010, his reply suggested that he presently considered her to be a soulmate. Robyn also mentioned Kody's earlier feelings, remembering how he used to make fun of soulmates. Adding that since Kody was then also married to Christine, Meri, and Janelle, it was never possible for her to be his soulmate. Polygamy was formerly a top priority for Kody and Robyn, as seen by their discussion about being each other's soulmates. But not calling each other soulmates, they seem to have tried to follow the guidelines of multiple marriage. In recent years, though, things appear to have altered. Robyn and Kody are now monogamous, and he no longer holds back from referring to her as his soulmate. Many Sister Wives fans and Kody's ex-wives have long understood that Robyn is his one and only real love, and it appears that Kody can finally acknowledge this fact. Robyn and Kody are recognizing how things have changed and talking openly about their previous emotions. Kody previously had a polygamous relationship in which he was simultaneously married to Robyn, Meri, Janelle, and Christine. Therefore, he shouldn't have called one of them his soulmate. He probably didn't like the word soulmate because it went against his polygamous way of life. Kody no longer has to cling to his previous convictions now that he is only with Robyn. In front of their kids, the Sister Wives star can confidently call Robyn his soulmate. Let us know in your comments. and stay tuned by subscribing our channel to get more updates like this. Thanks everyone.